Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Obsessive Compulsive Gaming. I am the Obsessive Compulsive Gamer, and this is my review for Phobia, St. DINFNA Hotel. So dear viewers, this video game originally released in 2022, a year I remember fondly as the year I played a hell of a lot of video games. But we are not here to talk about just any video game. We are here to talk about bloody Phobia, St. DINFNA Hotel. And just like that beautiful bearded bastard Barry Bertrum, you're probably wondering,
what is this?
St. DINFNA Hotel is one of those first-person horror, survival horror, ooky spooky, little bit cookie, shoot, die, solve puzzle type of video games. So let's review this bloody video game the only way I know how, badly. And let's start with the game's story. Essentially, we play as Roberto, a journalist who thought that investigating a haunted hotel would be a great career move. Spoiler, it's not. The hotel in question is, of course, the St. DINFNA Hotel, a charming little getaway where the wallpaper peels itself, the guests are mostly zombies, and the concierge might be a time-traveling cultist with a flair for dramatic lighting. So armed with a camera that sees into alternate timelines because, why not? Roberto must solve puzzles, kill monsters, and unravel a mystery so convoluted it makes quantum physics look like a bloody coloring book. This game's story is like The Shining. Met Resident Evil in a bar one dark night. They had a baby together and forgot to feed it love. Or something like that. So let's get on to what I enjoyed about Phobia. Well, being a massive fan of survival horror video games, particularly those that start with the words Resident and Evil, Phobia does quite a nice job emulating some of those classic video games, most notably Resident Evil 7. Though the game also reminded me of the original Outlast, most notably in the fact that at points you can take out your camera and see things in a kind of night vision way. Like Resident Evil as well, you also get access to several firearms, including a revolver, a pistol, a shotgun, and you'll be able to use said firearms against the myriad of enemies you'll encounter in this game. Be they the zombie kind that you mostly encounter in the hotel, be they spiders, or be they one of this game's 3 boss fights. The game also had a very interesting central mystery which, I have to be honest, I didn't really understand most of the time, but it kept the game moving forward. The game also is rather good looking. Not Playboy centerfold good looking or anything like that, or Playgirl, but this is still a very nice looking game, and the environments are rather splendid too. We get to explore not only the gloomy hotel, there's also a section that takes place in the woods, an abandoned mine, of course, a bloody laboratory, because every single survival horror game that takes inspiration from Resident Evil must conclude in a bloody laboratory. And the game had a rather good soundtrack. So I've been very nice to this game, but was there anything I didn't enjoy so much about this horror video game? Well, while survival horror video games are known for their inventory management as well as their puzzles, I did find that Phobia contained far too many bloody puzzles for my liking. Outside, of course, of shooting the enemies or fighting the 3 bosses, the majority of your time in this game is going to be spent figuring out how to progress through a bloody gate with a keypad next to it, or looking for a key to open a door, or trying to solve a puzzle to get a hold of an item that you have to use to solve another puzzle, which will give you another item that you might need to solve another puzzle. In fact, there's one item you pick up in the game, a kind of cube thing, in which you have to solve 4 or 5 different puzzles throughout the duration of the game before you're able to get rid of the bloody cube thing. Yes, I know games like Resident Evil have puzzles, but honestly, it just seemed that Phobia was absolutely jam-packed with the bloody things. And if I wasn't using a walkthrough, which admittedly I did for this game, I would have probably become very bored very quickly, and I'm not entirely sure I would have been able to finish the game. While I did like this game's central mystery, there really isn't much in the way of story content in this game. Certainly not your standard cutscenes. There's a couple of moments where you talk to someone on the phone, or we cut to a different character entirely who I think is supposed to be this game's bad guy. He just kind of turned up at the end and I was like, oh, so that's why we were playing as you. But I don't get it. Why are you here? What's going on? What is this? Who's that little girl in the gas mask? I just wasn't very invested in the overall story for this game, and there just wasn't enough of it. But my main complaint with the game is it just wasn't very fun to play through. Though the game took me 8.5 hours to finish, it felt so much longer than that. But that's probably because I didn't find the story to be in any way exciting or understandable. The voice acting was pretty dreadful, which can be excused, this being a lower budget video game. So much so that Phobia just ends up being passable, not bad. It's okay. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, my review for Phobia. If you enjoyed this little review of mine, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed it, well then feel free to give me a thumbs down. But please remember the single most important thing I always tell you, dear viewer, and that is to always stay obsessed with gaming. Are you still here? Oh, you must have really enjoyed this video then. In that case, you had better subscribe to the channel and check out our other content. Otherwise, you're a booby pants, and no one wants to be a booby pants.